Well, quickly, while the sun is out, just let's have a blog or a bit of vlog outside in the sunshine. And we're coming up now towards the end of May. I'm just going to do a rundown of the shed double O gauge layout, and then explain a little bit more about the other videos that will probably appear on this channel in the next few weeks, rather than the latest ones which have been focused on what I've been doing recently with my double O gauge layout. So there we are, we've got a bit of sunshine and blue sky. That's tempted me to think about getting out onto a cycle of some sort. And in the back there you'll see a Jubilee flag, because we're coming close to the Queen's Jubilee. And from the garden, just as the sun goes in and it gets cooler, it is quite windy, into the shed. So the next phase of activity around here is going to be focused on running, and there's two aspects to that. One aspect is the track, so we have reliable track, and then the other aspect is the rolling stock, and that means quite a lot of work to get reliable running. And in the process, I've decided that at my stage in life, my age, it's probably time that I began to decide what items I want to hang on to, and what items I really need to move on and sell. And hopefully in the process I might end up with some stock that's a little bit realistic. And I think if I run some trains around, for instance, if I run this with these, people will point out that, well, you know what, you wouldn't have had two brake vans running together, or this type of carriage running with that type of engine. So I may also look into what actual engines and stock went together. Unfortunately, one of the magazines ran a series showing that. Anyway, so the issues are that although this is a never to be moved layout, it has been originally built as an exhibition layout, and so this is built on board sections, and so the track does break at the board, and the board was chipboard, which swells with moisture and moves, and so I'm actually quite pleased that most of it runs very well. It does have a lift up section, which means we've got track joins there. So there's track joins at the lift up section and at the lift out section, and it's got insel frog points and curved points whose radius I've adjusted. So it's got quite a few things about the track, but basically the track doesn't run too badly. But what you do get are random decouplings and random derailments. Now, what I find is that stock wagons, such as these, and there's one has parked itself somewhere around the layout. I don't know where it is, actually, can't see it. I probably lifted it off the track when it became loose. Tend to be rather light, and running can be improved by adding a little weight. Bear in mind that the branch line, which is that far line from here, up lines, down lines, branch line, and potentially the goods line, does go up a gradient, and so adding too much weight to too long a rake of goods wagons might mean that something like this little loco begins to struggle more getting up the incline. Interesting to note, and I've done a video showing the running. I'm not going to turn the power on and do some running just now, because I did some running last night and I recorded enough clips of the running. I think to illustrate this, I'm just talking. And as you can see at the back, there's still plenty of scenic work to do, but I'm actually reminding myself of the running work. That a loco such as this, which has got plenty of driven wheels and plenty of pickups, okay, the tender has no pickups, so you're just talking about the main 6 wheels in the middle there being driven, struggles to get up the incline with 1, 2, 3 coaches. It gets wheel slip. I mean, I can force it up, but it's not pulling up nicely as I would hope. So that's not so good. So I need to look at things like that. Why things won't get up the incline when you think they should do, and why some things might decouple or derail. So it's a matter of looking at couplings and then looking at places where you get occasional derailments. Let me say that it gets complicated. Why complicated? Because there are areas where things happen, but it's not always exactly the same, and I will have something run round 4 or 5 times and then it will derail, and I've done nothing. I haven't touched the controller. It just happens to get itself into a state where it will derail. So it's likely that the next few videos on this channel will be about cycling. And if you're only here to see something about railway modelling, I apologise for that. I will be getting back to it because there are a lot of things I want to get on with, but I'm going to have a lovely break to do some cycling before I look at getting reliable running by attending to track. I think power's fine. Oh no, there's a couple of points because I've got power fed to each of the 6 roads in this fiddle yard by the switching of the points. The points at this end distribute power to the junction here, the junction there, and the points at that end switch power over the other half, and that is used to both isolate a section of the fiddle yard and also provide power to another section. So I am reliant upon the point blades making good contact with those little, well, with either the side rails or the little bit tabs that lie underneath the switch blade. So a couple of places where I might, well, only 1 or 2, fortunately, where I might need to do something about that. But I think a lot of attention to the rolling stock, and it is a matter of not just adding weight to every single one, but finding which ones benefit from the extra weight. And in the process, you know, some of these could do with a load and could do with some weathering. And in fact, if I decide to keep these, I may well decide to replace the couplings with the smaller, neater hook and loop couplings like this one on this old and weathered brake van, which has had metal wheels, newer wheels fitted, I believe, been weathered, newer wheels, and I think those are newer couplings on there. Can't remember, you see, I've not been documented, and maybe on and so these are old stock, not used. Look at that, it's the sort where these come down like this. I have changed them before. These are hardly run, but they've got plastic wheels, so metal wheels would help on that. And I will need to add packing of plasticard in order to pack it up to a suitable height. I mean, I need to sort off all of this plastic on there in order to get the smaller couplings put on at the right height. So fair bit of work on each of those to achieve what I want to achieve. But that isn't doing too badly as it stands. Loco shed 2. It's derailing at some point over there. Let's have a look. Let's go in and look, and difference in board height. Yeah, so some work to do there. Okay. That was under the ash tower, back from Loco shed 1. Oh, that's derailed. Good. All 3 tracks are operational. But as you know, you always have troublesome trucks. So in terms of trucks, I think I've just said we've got different, that just became decoupled. It happens at random, it's difficult to know why. But this little Loco is doing quite well, pulling up the gradient around the curve. I've got another Loco here. This one, not so good. So I need to look at why that, with these 3 coaches on, or might have been 4 coaches, 3 coaches, was unable to do the gradient properly. It had wheel spin. The other thing is this is getting round okay. Just unplug the power, otherwise I could show you. But occasionally something happens. And what I've got to do is, because it's an old model, that's the code. You'll be able to work out how old it is from the colour of the box and things. And it's been boxed for a long time. I really need to now, before I run it anymore, having kind of warmed the motor up, lubricate the motor, because it could be that the oil has dried out on the motor, and then check the back-to-backs of the wheels, because it occasionally hiccups going over a point. And what I found then is that the gap in the points where the frog is and the check rail can be such that trucks and carriages can catch if the wheel back-to-backs are not quite right. So I need to have a look at that. So there's a bit of checking to do there. The final thing is, if I know that it's not the fault of the rolling stock, is to then look at what improvements, well, I can do that anyway, look at what improvements can be made to the track. Most of the track on this scenic section seems to be fine. We've got, minor issues at board joins, but they're not too significant. I have played around with these in the past, but it's a fairly well laid, flat and level set of track work. So it's only on the newer bits going round the back where I need to just check 1 or 2 things. And it might be time now to fix this track work in place. You will find that these points are fixed to get the curvature. This track going along here isn't, and there's quite a gap there. And so I might need to have a go at securing the track a little bit more firmly. So that's just a ramble, having stopped doing scenic work and decided I'd I would have an hour or two of running. Pleased that the point motors seem to be working. The studs have corroded on there, but that's useful. The points are changing, and similarly it would appear that the points, because they're hidden on the rear section, they're all above board, which is good. I can maintain those, but on this scenic section they're all beneath the board, so maintenance of the point motors is not so good. If I've got the right pair of there's two motors on the three-way, one motor there and one motor there, and it is possible. I've had loco running into the sidings up there. I'm going to just do a video for myself. I don't know I've done it, but that tube is in the way. It's been in the way all along. What we are looking at is unweighted wagons, differences in coupling types. These three are Bachmann. Those three, oh, can't see from my hand, are old Hornby, and I think that's back to, well, it's a small hook and loop coupling. So unweighted wagons and relatively large track joints. And I don't know why this is uncoupled down here, but we're talking about old-ish points, and these are the points that I've changed the radius of, and I think, yep, there's a bit of lack of continuity on that point, so still power to that. Turn the power down a bit, but still got power to it. So, and look, this is the lift up section. These track joints aren't too bad. Yeah, they're pretty good really. But the one on the upper layer is not so good. That works all right. Just see what happens, see if it right, okay, so there's a dead spot on there. This has got loads of pickups, but I do need to check the pickups. I need to clean the wheels, I need to maintain the locos, give them a bit of lubrication, things like that. And some of them aren't even run in. This one should do. Oops, that one's lost its coaches. Oh, that one's lost the truck. Ah, there's a trailing car there. Running much more quietly, the motor is, and smoothly. Now it's had a bit of lubrication and running forwards and backwards for 15-20 minutes in each direction. Slows down up that curve. It makes the gradients this side very well. The motor is at the back, it's in the rearmost carriage of this, and is pushing the other two carriages round very nicely now. I'm quite pleased with the way that's going. So that's on my branch line, not a prototypical speed. And that's just hesitating to start off. So something, maybe the track needs a bit cleaning. I am going to have to give it a bit of power to get up this one. That's my tricky gradient. And slow it down once it's up, so you have to drive it. Well, let's look at why. Maybe there's a bit of dirt there. But no way can I get up this gradient slowly. There are traction tyres on this model. Just about there it slips. Maybe renewed traction tyres would just help that a little bit. And I maybe ought to look at the track cleanliness just there as it hesitates. Just testing this, running backwards and forwards over the three-way point, because that's a good test of the, well, of something. That's gone over 2 points. And it's run backwards over those 2 points. It is only a short rake, but and it climbs the gradient reasonably well. I'm away from the controller now, so I can't boost the power at all. I have adjusted the level crossing now so it doesn't catch on the level crossing. It comes across a bit of a gap here, and they've all got across the gap okay. Another bit of a gap. Not too badly there, it's running okay. So you've got potential 3 sidings there for the branch line for an out and back type operation. Speeds up a little going downhill. Oh, there's where the truck is. Sorry, I didn't know where I'd left this truck. It obviously came off there. And that will happily run round, which is quite good. I quite like that. The other track is a... which one are we talking about? We're talking about platform 3, track 2. Which way are we going? We're going that way, aren't we? Let's have a look. No, we're not. We're going the other way. And I think I've set the place. Yes, randomly things will derail maybe on the 4th, 5th time around, but certainly not on the first few times around. And interesting, this is one of the... Whoa! That was the wind blowing the door, even though I had hooked it back. I'll continue. I hope that didn't put you off too much. It is derailing just over here. And this is a place where I've now fixed a bridge in place. So, isn't that classic? Just goes to show, before you start any covering of tracks, do make sure everything runs well. And I did spend quite a bit of time checking track and running things around before I did start the additional scenic.